Hey guys, so this is going to be my January um, things that I read and February TBR. So hopefully, what we can do here is do this fairly quickly. I'm gonna do February is a short month, and so hopefully not as many books this time. I have a bunch stacked up here, but I'm gonna cut that down internally, and then we'll hold to that. So books that I read last month. Let's start with Autumn Republic. Most of that was read December of 2020, but I finished it in 2021, probably the last 150 pages or so. So go ahead and put that on this list because it wasn't on the last one. Very good. I recommend the series. It does have some first series bugs, kind of like Mistborn did with Brandon Sanderson, but enjoyed it quite a bit. Reread of the Cosmere is coming full swing. I'm finally reread Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Very, very good. And then finally read The Hope for Atlantis. So currently I've read everything. And then I'm going to reread the original Mistborn trilogy starting this month. And then I will have the entire Cosmere reread between 2020 and 2021. But Hope for Atlantis was good. It's kind of a backstory for a part of the story that never got told. Very, very good. Liked it. It was, I said that already once. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Listened to it on audiobook through the library. I'd been waiting for it for almost 2.5 months. And found it to be very enjoyable. Imagine Southern sort of put upon woman joins a book club because she just feels overwhelmed and needs some friends. Those friends help her through a difficult time in her life where she meets a vampire. It very much pulls back on the Southern dialect, very much pulls into the Southern way of life. I think it overdoes a couple issues. There's not a great husband, which I think there are some very good husbands in the Southern world, especially men that I know. Growing up in Florida, I didn't really get the Southern experience like people here in Georgia do, and this is set in South Carolina. But really enjoyed it. I think they made a bad pick putting the peach on the front of the book. I thought it was a Georgia-based book. It was South Carolina. They should have put like a palm tree and a crescent on there. But I did find it. I did find some of the misogynistic stuff way too heavy-handed. I don't think that would normally be how every husband was in the scenario. But this was the '90s. Maybe it was different. The men that I know don't treat their wives that way. So the fifth book was Valiant, Lost Fleet number 4. Very, very good. My favorite in the series so far. If you want to join the read along, they're easy, quick books. If you knocked out 4 of them, you could catch up to us for book 5, which we're starting coming up. I think you would love it. I think it's one of the best series that has just a hard sci-fi element to it, where it feels like this could be us in the future. This is the series. Lost Fleet by Jack Campbell. You should be a part of it. You should enjoy it. They're short. I don't think any of them has topped 300 pages yet. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. I read this with Brad's channel, his Discord. We did a whole read along with it and found it very, very interesting, very amusing. I enjoyed it more than the movie. If you want, I'll do a video up above where I read the book and then watched the movie right after and kind of critiqued both of them, reviewed both of them, I guess. It was a take on a man's time in a mental institution, and it was told from Chief Bromden's perspective. So he was the very tall Native American man, and he had lived his life as a deaf mute for a number of years. He felt he wasn't being listened to. Nobody listened when he was speaking, so he just quit talking, and everybody just assumed he was deaf and mute. Really, really cool. The way it was told, I liked it. Not everybody in the Discord liked it. His perspective, the way that Chief Bromden tells the tale is really, really good. You get his hallucinations, you get his thoughts. You watch him watching what goes on in the world, and that's very, very good. I like it quite a bit. Number 7 would be Hyperion by Dan Simmons. I did kind of a light read along with it. I think a couple people were interested, and then I put it on the back burner for way too long. And so when I went into reading it this month, I think a couple people jumped in and kind of talked about what they thought about it. And I'm still willing to talk with anybody about it. It's an amazing tale. And Hyperion was great. It was fantastic. It was 5 people going to meet a mysterious figure called the Shrike. He is the kind of warden of the Time Tombs, which are traveling backwards in time from forward in our future. A lot of people feel that it's forward in our future where we destroyed ourselves. All these people from different planets, different lifestyles, You have a Catholic priest, you have a poet, you have a soldier, you have a private investigator, and you have a consul of a planet. He was basically the ruler, sort of kind of ruler of Hyperion for a time. And they're all coming back to Hyperion to go to the Time Tombs to meet the Shrike for some reason or another. And as they go, they're telling their stories. So you get, basically, it's the backstory of every person as we get there. And I found it enthralling and amazing, great ideas. And then the big one is for the read-along. We're doing the presidential read-along, George Washington, A Life by Ron Chernow. First book, we will be done with that at the middle of February, let's say February 14th. And then a live stream on the 18th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Let me make sure that's exactly right. I have it written down here. Yes, February 18th at 9 p.m. I have it written down. We're going to do that. If you are just interested at all in George Washington, there's going to be a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas. It's one of the best biographies I've ever read. Really, really good. But there's still time to jump in if you want to join us. It's quite a long book, so we went ahead and did a month and a half. Then we'll do the live stream, and then John Adams will start March 1st. And then this was kind of a weird scenario. My mom and my children, we went and listened to 2 audiobooks as we were traveling to her house and back. We went to handle some bear stuff and move a washer and dryer. Actually, move a couple. And the first one is Zero G by Dan Wells. It's a middle grade book that we listened to on the way up there. It was free on Audible for us. Don't know if it'll be free for you, but and then the sequel to that, Dragon Planet. I think the first one was around 6 hours, second one around 3. So we were on the road for quite a while that day. And then I, continuing with my Percy Jackson journey, read The Battle of the Labyrinth. Very good. The series has stayed at a pretty high level. I think overall it's better than Harry Potter so far to me. I don't know how they'll close up the 5th book. Harry Potter gets better later in the series. The first of Harry Potter is a lot weaker than the end. So, you know, my thoughts may change with the 5th book, but right now I'm liking Percy Jackson quite a bit. And the last one that I read was The Light Fantastic by Terry Pratchett. What a wonderful, fantastic book. It tickles the funny bone in a very British way that we don't always get in American humor, and I loved it. It was amazing. And that gives us 12 books read total. A couple of those were very short audiobooks. One was a very long audiobook with Washington, A Life. All right, and books I'm still working on that I have started but have not finished. First of all would be Cinder by Marissa Meyer. That one had to go back to the library. I just took too long reading it. I didn't finish it. Gardens of the Moon, I've got right here. I am 221 pages in that one. Doing the Malazan read along, but they're not starting the next one until March, so I have plenty of time for that. Next is Mouse. I'm about halfway through this, just over 100 pages. It is a graphic novel based on a father telling his son his story of his time as a Jewish man in Poland, him and his wife. And so he just wants to learn his father's story and then tell it in his way, which is cartooning. He's a cartoonist, and he wanted to go ahead and tell his father's story. So far, I like it a lot. Wizard and Glass by Stephen King. I am a bit over halfway done with this one. Liking it quite a bit. I was having a hard time reading it physically, so I went and did audiobook on this one. Probably have it done in the next 2 to 3 days. Today is currently the 2nd of February, so should have it very, very, very soon done with that one. What else I got here? 12 Kings of Shankiri. I'm about 40% done. I was budding reading that with Rowdy Bob Jr. He's a awesome member of my Discord. If you guys want to join that, please do. We're reading it in Discord, so please join in on that. It's just me and him currently. He has finished it, and he has said it is so good. Like, he just kept doing updates. I think he was at one point just couldn't stop reading it, and I'm excited to get to where he is. I'm maybe 25, chapter 25, and excited to finish that as well. Last one, but certainly not least, is Vile Artistry, a self-published book that I'm trying to get to. It's very heavy on prose, so it's a little harder to read a lot of. It doesn't flow in the same way that like a Brandon Sanderson book does, where you can just tear through that. So it has taken me a little bit longer to read, and I just haven't been very good at reading that. But hopefully, as soon as we're done, June Chevalier, the author, is going to do an interview with me, and we're going to discuss the book. Hopefully, draw up a bunch of attention on vile artistry, and let you guys kind of make your own decision on it, because I like it, but only one other person than me has rated it on Goodreads. So I'd love to get some attention to that book. I'm going to take a quick break and change the battery on my camera, and we will go do the TBR for February. All right, sorry about that. I am back. Let's go over books we're adding to the list. All right, so let's add some books to the list. I went to the library and I saw this. I am super excited. This is Dune, the graphic novel. This is book 1. If you have read Dune, you know that Dune is split up into 2 books, basically 2 arcs. And so this is the first one. This is up until a certain point. I won't spoil it for you if you don't know. But the artwork in here is pretty good. I'm really just going to glance it over, and then when I buy it, I'll read it for real. But I just wanted to let the library know that I was very excited. So the artwork's very good. Quite a good. Yeah, I'm just excited that they're doing some extra stuff and trying to really bring some life to the movie to get it ready for get people excited about a book that I love, and I'm excited for that. Over on Christy Lewis's channel, I think is the announcement video for the Brothers Karamazov. I mean, she's Dostoevsky in space, so you'd think that that Dostoevsky's book would be on her channel. But the Codex Cantina is also help hosting, I believe, A Musical Bookworm and Peg from the History Shelf. All great channels. Go check them out if you can. They did a live stream, kind of like a jump off, and then Codex Cantina did a big before you read. These are things you might look at or look into or whatever. I read Crime and Punishment last year and really enjoyed it. Loved the writing style. The only hard part about his books are the names, and other than that, especially if you're doing it through audiobook, it is a whole lot easier, which I found a free version on Audible. So if you have an Audible subscription, you probably can find the same free version I did. And so I will try to do a chapter a day. This is a 2-month read along, so it shouldn't be too hard for everybody to get along with that one. And then this was one that everybody did a read along of like last year, early last year. My library just got it, so I'm excited. It is Thrawn, Ascendancy, Chaos Rising, Star Wars, New, Timothy Zahn. I read the original Thrawn, the EU or the Legends or whatever they're calling it, and really enjoyed it. So I am excited to read this one. I think it got pretty high praise when it came out, and now I'm finally getting to it because my library finally has it. So excited to read this one. It's added to the TBR. All right, video filmed in 3 parts. All right, so Lost Fleet, book 5. This is Relentless. Also very short. First one to top 300 pages. We're so close to Alliance space. We're almost home. At least these guys are almost home. Sorry, I just got the desk that I've been waiting on. It just came. Amazon came by, so I ran up there and got it. And so I'm doing a chapter a day on this one, so I can do all the books that I'm trying to finish, get those out of the way, and really get on to some good stuff. Hopefully this month I kind of clear out my backlog. I've knocked a few things off of the TBR because I just haven't been finishing 3 or 4 books every month. So I'm trying to minimize what I'm adding. I actually had a huge stack and I went ahead and took a bunch of it off just because I don't want to continually not make the things that I'm trying to make. The Light Fantastic, next Terry Pratchett book. This is book 2. So I've now currently read 1 and 3. And so book 2 is another Rincewind tale, and then you go into Mort. So I will then continue reading in order. I loved Mort. I really enjoyed The Color of Magic. So The Light Fantastic is the next one. I'm excited. I've got a bunch of them, but then you can find some of the audiobooks on the Hoopla app. So hopefully those are the ones I don't have until I can get them. Hopefully I can get all these eventually. But there's like 150 of them, so that may take a while. Assassin's Apprentice. This is the reread that I did. I was talking about book series that I want to reread. This is the one that got the most votes on the Discord, and so there's a Discord channel if you guys want to chat about it. Assassin's Apprentice, wonderfully, beautifully written. I started reading it the other day. I'm about 5% in, and really Fitz just tells his story. He starts out as a child, and he brings us along with him on his tale. I remember loving it. It was one of the books that I was really excited to get back to, but I wanted to be better at reviewing before I did get back to it. So Ship of Magic is my favorite, and I know Michael Nipp just did a video where he didn't enjoy Ship of Magic, but I know Leslie enjoyed it, and most of the people you talk to really enjoy Ship of Magic. It's my favorite in the series. Though that trilogy, I'm not saying necessarily the first book, but the trilogy is one of my favorite series, or favorite trilogy in the series. That doesn't make any sense. But this one was always good, and then there's the second one that covers Fitz. So you go this one, then you go Live Ship Traders, you come back to Fitz, and then you go back to the Rain Wilds, and then you're, I think you get Fitz and the Fool together again. So I'm excited. Let's do this. Reread City this year. All right, and then the last new book that I'm adding to my TBR is going to be The Crystal Shard. Wanted to get into some Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I've heard that Drist is really amazing. He's that guy right there. And his story is great. You could start with the early series that starts with his childhood, but this is the first series written, so wanted to start here and kind of go chronologically. I'm really, really excited to join in. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons ever. And maybe when my son and my daughter are older, we could play together, and so get some background history, some lore. Really excited for that. And last but not least, it's been on here for a while. It's going to hopefully be done this month. When I finish a couple books, I'm hopping right into this one. It's not long, and I'm excited to read it. I think the 4th book just came out in this series, so I really do want to read it. I keep putting it off. So many good read-alongs and read-throughs and rereads and all that kind of stuff. So Magpie Coffin keeps getting put on the back burner, but I do promise to get to it this month. And that is it. If you guys want to join in any of this, please do. Hopefully tonight will be a good reading night, and got the new desk, so I might set that up. I don't know how much reading I'll get done. And if I finally get around to it, I might do Dragonbone Chair, but this is a chunker. I've been wanting to read some Tad Williams for a while, and it's begging me to read it, but I don't know if I'll make it right now. So that is all I have, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you would please subscribe to the channel. About 80% of my viewers don't subscribe, which is kind of crazy, but I think that has to do with some of my lore videos that people pop in and pop right back out. So let me know if you guys are reading anything with me, and I'd love to talk to you about it. So see ya. Bye.